I want to talk to you because you were the one person who had the one follower on YouTube that for some reason Blake Lively subpoenaed you. So
for me, the first red flag was just how the news even got out.
It almost feels like someone was tipping off Star to put some bad press out for Justin. That's the vibe I'm getting. You too?
Yeah, it was way too hard on me. It was causing too much stress and it was hard on my family. So I just had to end it. And then people are obviously just going to take her side and roll with it instead of looking.
Imagine a situation where a single YouTube subscriber ends up triggering a formal subpoena against you, issued in Blake Lively's name. It sounds improbable, but that's the level of escalation this case reached.
I want to talk to you because you were the one person who had the one follower on YouTube that for some reason Blake Lively subpoenaed you. So
consider uploading a small video expecting minimal attention, only to find high-profile Hollywood figures suddenly reacting to it. That was the reality for Ken, a content creator who never anticipated legal attention. Blake Lively, known for her public image and carefully managed media presence, allegedly viewed her content as serious enough to involve legal counsel. The motive remains unclear, whether tied to defamation concerns or reputation management. What followed was even more unusual. As Ken's small channel started gaining momentum, her name surfaced alongside major public figures like Justin Baldoni, Taylor Swift, and the Ryan Reynolds media apparatus. In Hollywood, timing is deliberate, and this shift placed her at the center of a larger narrative she never initiated.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Why did Star get this first? It's almost, and Star's notorious sort of more gossip brag than most. It does feel like they were tipped off. Like I would say Star's worse than TMZ. Like TMZ's kind of an obvious, easy one, but it almost feels like someone was tipping off Star to put some bad press out for Justin. That's the vibe I'm getting. You too?
Anyone assuming this was a simple online disagreement quickly learned otherwise. The subpoena marked only the beginning of a broader and more complicated situation. Reports soon described an alleged 2 a.m. entry involving Blake Lively and an unidentified man, resembling the script of a streaming drama rather than a legal procedure. Star Magazine claimed that a process server scaled her secured residence in the middle of the night to deliver documents. There was no scheduled visit or standard protocol, just an account that portrayed the event as a covert operation. The details raised questions about credibility, accuracy, and whether the incident was exaggerated or misrepresented.
And it seemed like they were also trying to confuse people because with Kansas City, our biggest news station is the Kansas City Star. So choosing Star Magazine starts to kind of confuse people of, oh, are they in relation to Kansas City Star in any capacity if people aren't aware of.
This is the stage where the circumstances began to look less accidental and more coordinated. Ken, a Kansas resident with documentation and a measured approach, asked a question that stood out. Why did media outlets in New York report the story before anyone in the local area heard about it? Blake's residence is said to be near Kansas City, a place where any notable incident would typically spread quickly through community channels. Yet the first report came from Star Magazine, a tabloid publication, not a local source. Adding to the concern, the magazine's headquarters is only a short distance from Venable LLP, the firm representing Blake. That proximity raised questions about whether the information was strategically placed rather than organically reported.
The first red flag was just how the news even got out because we're in Kansas City, basically. Leawood's not too far off from Kansas City. We get the news within an hour. If there's anything happening in town, we know about it. So I would have been the first to know about it before some station in New York. So that was the first red flag for me. And then also it just being Star Magazine seemed like a very odd, just the most random magazine you could possibly pick to have this exclusive. And so whenever I looked into, okay, well, where are they even located at? And it was in New York. I was actually already down the whole Van Sham lawsuit rabbit hole again. And that's when I noticed that the address that they have listed for the Venable, business that they have, it's 6 minutes away from Star Magazine's headquarters. They're literally right across the street from each other.
As Ken continued to investigate, the alleged break-in appeared increasingly staged rather than genuine. In Kansas City, local developments rarely go unnoticed, especially involving prominent individuals. The community is known for circulating news rapidly through neighborhood groups and informal networks. Last year, When several Kansas City Chiefs players experienced break-ins, coverage appeared immediately in local media and online forums. In this case, there was no local discussion, no neighborhood footage, and no regional reporting, only an article published out of state. That silence fueled skepticism and suggested that the event may not have occurred in the way it was presented.
I go to the station, but I did email them as I was going through. But I noticed, for one, that so much of it was left blank, even some of the details. But one detail, they noted that there was no alcohol or drugs involved. So there wasn't the theory that this was a drunk server gone rogue, completely out the window. But then it also was labeled as code 88, which means it wasn't a hate crime. So the political theory kind of throws out the window too. And there's no name of Justin there. And when I reached out to confirm and be like, why isn't this name listed? Because all the reports are claiming that this is the person. They responded stating that they gave every single media outlet the exact same thing. So any outside information came from an outside source.
The confusion deepened when the reporting source was examined more closely. Star Magazine and the Kansas City Star have similar names, which could easily lead the public to assume the story originated from a credible local newspaper. In reality, it came from a tabloid known for sensational coverage. With no community reports, no local confirmation, and a misleading outlet name, the situation already appeared questionable. When Ken obtained the official police report, the discrepancies became clearer. There was no mention of alcohol, no involvement of Justin Baldoni, and no reference to any targeted motive. The report contained minimal information and redacted sections, offering no support for the heightened media claims. Instead of clarifying the incident, the documentation introduced more doubt and prompted further scrutiny of how the story was constructed.
How terrible. Go ahead.
Him with another guy from Missouri that is on the S-offender list. And he was booked the very next day, completely different state, not the same guy, but people
conveniently also named Justin.
No, the exact same name in full, Justin Lee Fisher.
The most unexpected details surfaced immediately. Justin's name was not mentioned anywhere. The individual many media outlets had already implicated never appeared in the official report. It was as though his involvement had been imagined and inserted after the fact. Any assumption that intoxication played a role was dismissed as well. The documents clearly stated there was no alcohol or drug use involved. Speculation about a politically motivated incident or hate-based motive also collapsed. The event was coded as non-bias related. When Ken asked authorities why Justin wasn't included, the response was direct. Every media outlet received the exact same version of the report, meaning whatever connection to Justin existed did not originate from law enforcement. Someone outside the legal process appears to have supplied his name, and the media circulated it without verification. That led to the sudden involvement of Justin Lee Fisher, who was portrayed as a suspect in an incident he was never tied to in any official record. His name became central to a story without evidentiary support, turning a coincidence into a manufactured controversy.
Moved by Blake and Ryan to try to paint him negatively in the press?
I think so, just because of, the connections, one or two, sure, but when you add everything up, it's just it's not counting to four. And I keep going 50-50 on whether Taylor is involved or not, just because it seems oddly convenient that just a few days before this whole incident, she makes a statement, or her team makes a statement saying that her alleged stalker has gone rogue and is missing. And then, you have this incident. And then also with the Chiefs game where she has the bulletproof wall against her. If she was worried about her safety, for one, she wouldn't have gone. And two, she would have had her mom in that shield as well. She wouldn't have just had her mom, not have a shield, because obviously if you're a fan, you know who her mom is. She's with her the whole time.
Once the speculation began, tabloid outlets amplified it, online commentators spread it, and social media discussions created a wave of unverified claims. A key detail quickly emerged. Justin Lee Fisher had been arrested shortly after the alleged incident, but in another state and for unrelated matters. Despite that, his unrelated legal issues made him an easy target for misidentification. His name was accessible, his record public, and the confusion escalated. At the same time, Justin Baldoni had no involvement in the situation at all. There was no link between him and any reported break-in, yet his name circulated through rumor channels and social commentary. Independent reviewers and investigators online, including Ken, confirmed there was no connection. The false association appeared to benefit a narrative rather than reflect reality. The broader pattern pointed to deliberate framing, media manipulation, and opportunistic reporting. In the end, attention shifted to Blake Lively, not for career-related coverage, but for an alleged safety concern that rapidly turned into a publicity storm.
Credit, you've now had to put yourself more out there, and you and your bedazzled spatula over at Existing to Thrive is now almost can we get her across 5,000 subscribers, guys? Hopefully after this video, you're going to head over to add Existing to Thrive and help boost her numbers, because in a good way, Blake helped you, right? It's definitely lifted you up and gotten you more attention. It's weird how this stuff sort of backfires. It's like Jimmy Kimmel last night had his biggest ratings of all time, which was the complete opposite of what they were trying to do to him. It is interesting how sometimes it goes. Are you surprised by the reactions?
I am surprised, but I was hoping that, I would try to make a bet, get the positive out of this. I kept going back of if Kim can do it, I can do it. If she can make, a bad situation in her favor, it's you got to just bite the bullet, ride the wave, and see what happens, So I am thankful for Blake that she did at least kind of give me more of my voice, because before I was more kind of muzzling what I said, and now I'm just okay, if you came at me for that, then I'm going full hard.
The question of influence turned attention toward Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, both known for strategic media presence and well-timed public messaging. Their image is casual in appearance but carefully structured behind the scenes. Days before the reported incident, coverage emerged about Taylor Swift's alleged stalker disappearing from view. Shortly after, reports circulated about a break-in near Travis Kelce's residence during a Chiefs game, coinciding with Swift's appearance in a secure VIP section. The optics created a high-alert narrative, yet key elements raised doubts. If the threat level was genuine, questions emerged about attendance and security choices. The situation appeared more aligned with image control and narrative positioning than spontaneous concern. Despite multiple high-profile figures and locations involved, legal action focused on one individual, Ken, a content creator with almost no online traction on the platform targeted. Her video, made with minimal expectation of reach, became the focal point of legal pressure. That selective response prompted deeper scrutiny into intent, timing, and coordination.